Okay, good morning, students. So last time we learn about this vertical load test, which is known as a compression types of test, right? First is a vertical load test, second is lateral load test, and third one is a pull out tension, right? So in that case, first test is a vertical load test, right? So vertical load test, which is also known as a compression test. So the setup for the load test on a pile consists of two anchor piles provided with an anchor girder or reaction girder at their top as shown in figure. I can show you right there. Okay, like this, right? The So the test pile is installed between the anchor piles in the manner in which the foundation piles are to be installed. So then the test base should be at least 3 times of width, or you can say 2.5 meter clear from the anchor piles. So the load is applied through hydraulic jack resting on the reaction girder. So the measurement of the settlement of the pile recorded with the help of three dial gauges with respect to a fixed reference mark. So the test is conducted after the period of 3 days after installation of the test base in a sandy soils and after the period of 1 month after the installation of the test pile in the silts and uh, soft days. So this is because by driving the test pile, the soil properties are altered, and with the passage of time, much of the original properties are restored. So the load is applied in equal increment of about 20% of allowable load. So settlement should be recorded with three dial gauges. Each load increment is maintained till the rate of movement of pile is not more than 0.1 mm per hour in a sandy soils and 0.02 mm per hour in a clay soil, right? Or the maximum 2 hours as per IS code. So for each load increment settlements are observed at 0.5, 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 or 60 minutes. So the loading should be continued up to twice the safe load or the load at which the total settlement reaches some specified value. So the load is removed in the same decrements at 1 hour interval and final rebound is recorded after 24 hours after the entire load has been removed. So this is the figure of jack loading, which is reaction by a loaded platform. Arrangement for the pile load test are also shown in this figure. Right, there are soil anchors given this piece at the center of this pile is known as a test pile, right? Jack and dial gauges are provided. This is our distance piece, which is covered the distance between this reaction truss and the jack, right? Supports in which this whole truss is supported. Anchor piles are given. So the measured value of settlement are plotted against the corresponding value of the load. Obtain the load settlement curve as shown in figure, which shows a typical load settlement curve for loading as well as unloading obtained from the pile load test. So for any given load, net settlement, which is known as Sn, is given by Sn is equal to Si minus Se. Right? So load settlement curve as shown in this figure, right? There are net settlement, gross settlement, loading, settlement, load versus settlement curve is given. So Sn is equal to net settlement, Si is equal to total settlement or gross settlement, and Se is equal to elastic settlement or rebound. So this figure also shows the net settlement, which is chain dotted line, as you can see in this figure. And the another figure 3.21 shows the two load settlement curves obtained from the pile load test on two different soils. So the ultimate load QU may be determined as abscissa of the point where the load settlement curve changes to a steep straight line, as you can see in the first figure. Right. Alternately, the ultimate load QU is abscissa of the point of intersection of initial and final tangents of the load settlement curve, as you can see in this figure. right? So the allowable load is usually taken as one half of the ultimate load. Right? So according to the IS 4, part 4, the allowable load may be taken as one of the following, whichever is less. So first condition is 50% of load at which the total settlement is 10% of diameter of the pile. Uh, Two-thirds of the final load at which total settlement is 12 mm, and two-thirds of the load which causes a net settlement of 6 mm. So the limiting settlement criteria are also sometimes specified. So under the load, twice the allowable load and net settlement should not exceed 20 mm, or the gross settlement should not exceed 25 mm. So talking about group action of pile. So pile is not used singularly beneath a column or wall. So because it is extremely difficult to drive a pile absolutely vertical and to place foundation exactly over its center line. So if the eccentric loading results, the pile may fail structurally because of bending stresses. So in the actual scenario, structural loads are supported by several piles acting as a group. So minimum number of 3 piles is used under a column in a triangular pattern. So even the if even the load does not uh, want the use of 3 piles. So when a number of piles required is more than 3, the piles are so arranged so that they are symmetrical with respect to the load. So the pile under the walls are arranged on either side of the center line of the wall in a staggered formation, right? So the loads are usually transferred to the pile group through a reinforced concrete slab or beam, which is known as a pile cap. And the pile tops are connected together to the pile cap, which helps the pile group act as a integral unit. So pile cap may either stand clearly above the ground level or may rest on the soil, partially or fully buried below the ground level, right? Next is pile spacing. So the center to center distance between 2 piles in a row called pile spacing, and normally the spacing taken as 2 times diagonal dimension of piles in case of square piles, and 2.5 times the diameter of a pile in case of circular or octagonal piles. Spacing of piles depends on the following factors. First one is the length of pile, load on pile, material of pile, nature of soil in which pile is to be driven, type of pile, pile grouping, and obstacles in a pile or driving. The load carrying capacity of pile group uh, is not necessarily equal to the sum of individual load capacities of pile in the group. So the disturbances of soil during the installation of pile and overlap of stresses between the adjacent piles may cause the load carrying capacity of pile group be less than the sum of the load carrying capacities of the individual piles. So however, the soil between the piles may become locked in due to densification from driving of piles, and a group may tends to behave as an equivalent single large pile, right? So the densification and improvement of properties of soil surrounding the group may also occur. So the factor tends to provide the group capacity greater than the sum of the capacities of individual piles, so that the load carrying capacity of a large pile is obtained by the determining of a skin friction resistance around the embedded perimeter of pile group, and then calculating the end bearing resistance by assuming the tip area formed by this block. Okay, so figure given, there is a single pile, and from the other side there are group action of piles, right? So the load carrying capacity of pile group is taken as smaller of the following: the sum of the load carrying capacities of the individual pile and the load carrying capacity of single large equivalent pile. So when the pile groups in sand, so in that case, piles driven in the sand or gravel, the load carrying capacity of large equivalent pile will be more than sum of load carrying capacities on the individual pile due to densification of soil, which is occurs during the driving of the pile. So for the design, the load carrying capacity of the group is taken as the sum of the load carrying capacities in an individual pile. So the equation of QS is equal to, the equation of QG is equal to N into QU. So QG is equal to load carrying capacity of pile group, N is equal to number of piles in a group, and QU is equal to N bearing capacity of individual pipe. And the equation of QU is equal to gamma into D into NQ, right, which is equal to QP. So when the piles are driven in a clay soil, which is a cohesive soils, there will be considerable remodeling, especially when the soil is soft and sensitive. So the soil between the piles may have, since compaction cannot be easily achieved in the soil, such low permeability. So in the such soil, bore piles are generally preferred to driven piles. So if driven piles are used, spacing of pile must be relatively large to minimize the development of pore pressure. So there are two modes of failure in a pile group. First one is a block failure, and second one is individual pile failure. So the mode of failure of pile group in cohesive depends primarily on the spacing of piles, and for smaller spacing, block failure may occur. In other words, the load carrying capacity of pile group acting as a block will be less than the sum of load carrying capacity of the individual pile. First, for the large spacing, the failure of individual piles may occur, and in the other words, load carrying capacity of pile group acting as a block will be more than the sum of load carrying capacity of the individual piles. So the limiting value of spacing of pile for which the load carrying capacities of the pile group obtained from the two criteria, which is block failure and individual pile failure, are equal is usually considered to be 3b, where b is the diameter of pile. So the individual pile capacity Q is equal to small qp into AP plus alpha CPD. So QP value is CNC. So put this value in this equation, and our individual pile capacity is CNC AP plus alpha CPD. So talking about the block capacity, QG into U is equal to small qp into AG plus C PGD, where AG is equal to bearing area of block, PG is equal to perimeter of group, D is equal to length of pile, NC is equal to Q, C is equal to cohesion, alpha is equal to adhesion factor, right? So there are efficiency of pile group. So this efficiency of pile group is basically defined as a ratio of load carrying capacity of the pile group to the sum of load carrying capacity of the individual piles. So the equation is here, right? So eta G is equal to capital QG divided by sigma QU. So this efficiency of pile group mainly depends on the some factors, right? So types of soil, method of installation, spacing of piles, length of pile, diameter of pile, material of pile, number of rows of pile, number of piles in a row, right? And eta G may be greater than 100% for loose and medium sands, and eta G may be less than 100% for sands and clays, right?